One day I'm going to get this to work completely. So, welcome. We are live inside the Facebook group. We're live on YouTube. And that is the second time I have been live on YouTube today. Yes. So I was live earlier today with Savvy from Give Me a Break 808 that supports caregivers. And I had the honor of telling my parents' caregiver story, how they cared for my grandparents. And we also talked about how AI can help caregivers get out of that overwhelm and take some of that huge cognitive burden off. Because when you're a full-time caregiver, a full-time employee, a full-time mom, I could go on. Just asking what's for dinner is huge. So I shared a couple of things with Savvy, some stuff for her group, how to use Notebook LM for her podcast listeners and her YouTube channel to really to get access to Give Me a Break and their resources 24/7. I also gave them a special GPT. All right. Colleen is in the waiting room, and honestly, we might have one other person joining us today. So let's see. Colleen. Oh no. Well, at some point, guests can unmute. Yes, guests, waiting room. Let me turn that waiting room off. Okay, no more waiting room. So Colleen can pop in when she wants. And if my special guest wants to pop in live, he can. Um, but what I was talking about was basically an app that works, a custom GPT. It's not an app, but it works just like Chopped. You can take a picture of anything, even if all you have is beans and a can of tomatoes and a thing of pasta, it will come in. Um, it'll come in handy and it'll give you something really cool. I was shocked. So, anywho, that is the story with that podcast. And I was also on Women of the World podcast, and that dropped today too. The Give Me a Break was live. Women of the World was taped. And oh my goodness, did I make a rookie mistake? Instead of looking at myself to know that my eyes were where they should be, I stared at my camera and it looks like I'm staring up the whole time. So, um, hmm. So I see Colleen is here, but and her camera's on, but I asked her to unmute, but I know, oh, here she is. She's in the room.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Colleen. So,
Hey, girl, what's up?
so we were just talking about the two podcasts that dropped today. One was live and one was pre-recorded.
That's
So,
cool.
and you got me here today. And if you were in school, I showed you how I made that killer lead magnet that shows you exactly how to use Meta's new AI for ads. So, if you're watching this and you want that lead magnet, well, if you want the guide,
I have
it's
a
a lead magnet for me. For you who's watching this, it's absolutely a guide. and I want to talk to you. How do I talk to you? I bribe you into my DMs. So, and honestly, in here, it's a two-faced problem. I can show you how to bribe people to get them into your DMs too, with really cool stuff like that. But I also want to give you cool stuff, so you come into my DMs. So, yeah, it's both.
I the so just a quick question about that. So is it something that you have to use when you say meta for ads? Is it when you're buying ads or just to, how does that work?
So
Or do you know?
basically, what Meta has created is a chat bot for your business page, for your Instagram, and for your business WhatsApp. Oh, if you wanted to create a bot from the back end of Meta for it to answer everything, which I might be depending on how much it costs, because it does say it's a cost, but you can take that chatbot and put it on your website too. And that might be where the cost comes in. So I haven't gone that far down the rabbit hole. I just put together a handbook, oops, a handbook on how to set it up. So how much you pay for it, that's between you and Meta. How you set it up, it's in the handbook. And what I talked about earlier today, so I'm giving some things out of the bag, but this goes honestly for anything that you have, any lead magnets you get from someone, a book, you can put that into your favorite language learning model and have a conversation with it. So let's say you're stuck building something. I mean, I can think of the greatest use case for this is the next time you go to IKEA and you get those instructions, you take a picture of it, put it in ChatGPT, and say, explain how to set this up like I've never built anything from IKEA before. And then AI is going to create you some instructions for building your IKEA furniture like a real person and not someone who understands stick figure. So it looks like we lost Colleen for a little bit. I know she's on the road in between. She's been really working hard these days between uh, getting back into the dental world. Um, Healthcare season's about to start up again. So if you need a healthcare insurance specialist, you definitely need to get with Colleen. Um, and her new greenhouse, which she's growing some flowers and garlic in, according to the last time I talked to her. So, really exciting things with her. And at some point, we're going to figure out how we're going to AIify her greenhouse. So, and hopefully AIify getting her some new health insurance clients, because that was the generation of that uh, handbook I put together. Joey, who's inside of the school community, asked a question about it, and I created it for him. And guess what? There was somebody else inside the community that was like, oh my goodness, sliced bread, Heather, this is amazing. And he's going to use it with one of his roofing clients. So when you have a great idea, and you really think AI might be able to help you with it, joining the school community that is honestly less than $1 a day, people, still, it is dirt cheap. You get access to the Heather Brain and you post stuff in there. I read it, I research it, and I get back to you with problem solved. Um, a really good internet friend of mine. We haven't met IRL because she's in New Zealand and she's attending the Go High Level conference this week. So I am super jealous of that too. She asked me about a transcription tool and we put that together too. So, and it was a lot more affordable than the current software she was using. So it takes a little bit of AI know how and imagination and a problem, and it can be solved with AI, which I think is pretty nifty, folks. So, what are your problems? What can we help you with? Let me see. I'm looking on the phone to see if anyone's joined us. Um, I don't see any comments yet. So, yep, nothing I can answer live. Um, so if you haven't asked for the Meta Business AI Implementation Handbook, absolutely get on that bandwagon. If you haven't joined school, um, even if you're not in my community, I would totally recommend getting on there because there's a lot of great communities on there. And if you're interested in starting your own community, I'd love to talk to you about that too and help you out with it. Like, what could you teach someone else? I mean, I can teach people about AI. I can probably teach people at this point about insurance. I know a lot about that. Um, but some of the other great communities that I've been a part of on school so far, there's a book community. And we got together on there, and that was amazing. I'm in some other AI communities, but what I have found about the AI communities on there, they're at a higher level. They are definitely not AI 101. They're more geared towards building out AI automations and not learning to use the stuff that's available to you for free, that's off the shelf, that will make your life easier, that you don't have to invest money in. You don't have to learn how to vibe code. You don't have to get an account on Railroad or GitHub or, oh, I can't even think of all the other places that you might need an account to get access to some of this stuff to build out some AI automations. Let's just use the AI automations we have and build from there off the shelf. So that's what I help with to really get you started. And I know I've talked about this before, but I love it. I talked about it on the podcast today too. Is all about what is a GPT. And that is the first class in there. The second class is a glossary of all of these crazy terms you hear people throwing around. But for anyone out there who has some AI hesitancy, it's AI is just spell check on steroids. GPT, it stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Guess what spell check is? It's a generative pre-trained transformer. So it's trained on a dictionary. Actually, probably on several dictionaries so far. And it transforms whatever you put into spell check. So it generates into a word whatever you misspelled. That's it. But now you can put in paragraphs. You can have it brainstorm with books. You can train it on your own books, somebody else's books, have conversations. I think one of my favorite GPTs I built was with I don't want to get sued for any copyright infringements, but with a really famous author who did some self-help stuff. And I took copies of their writing and put it in. And now I can have a conversation with that person. And instead of trying to figure out how I can apply the concepts of what I've read, I can ask, say, hey, how can I apply this to my business? What advice would you give to me in my business? And because the AI is trained on this and it's a transformer, it takes the best guess. It thinks through all of this stuff. And oh, wow, we have Colleen in here twice now. So at some point, Colleen will figure out how to unmute herself and reappear on our screen. But until then,
I think I'm here. I could be wrong. I don't know. There I am.
okay, yep, you're in here twice now. So
Well, because
I was just, oh, go ahead.
I was like, it cut me, like, it told me that it made me log back in and go back in. And I was like, okay.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
But
It
I
is
was
what it
just
is.
talking about how amazing it is to be able to talk to your favorite author, asking AI, the AI version of them, questions and how it can apply to your life, to your specific situation. They might be dead for who knows how many years, but through AI being able to transform that information, just like it transforms your misspelled word into something that makes sense, it can transform your
Right.
idea, filter it through all of that, and give you feedback that makes sense based on the ideas and logic. So the next time you're watching a YouTube video or reading a book that you have a digital copy of, put it into AI and ask, how can this apply to my life? Here's my situation. How can I change? How can I become better? How can I solve this problem? And that's one of the miracles of
So can I?
AI when you apply it.
Yes. Listen to, so Heather, you've known me for a few years now. And you know that when you first met me, there's no way I would have been able to do anything like this. What I did yesterday in just about, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or maybe an hour tops. And I know it could have been faster, but I'm a little picky sometimes. But I had, because I was thinking, what can I do that, I'm always like, what do I enjoy? So I was like, you know what, the board, I've been seeing a lot about a lot of hygiene students. Their boards exams are coming up in May and they need to study. And I remember that time in my life. And so I literally used Perplexity to build a board review for dental hygiene students. And I think it's pretty damn good. And it's in the way I study, the way I learn, because I know that it's not the way for everybody, but I am the kind of person that's I don't need all the extra because that's what confuses me. I just need to, like, the recognition. Like, I need to be able to recognize things. And so, I mean, it might not work for everybody, but when I started looking at it, once we were finally finished, I was like, oh my God. I mean, it's not finished, but it's finished. Now I just need to, like, go in and put it in a format. But then I was like, I could make an app out of this. And I think I'm going to try to do that. But I'm, I'm really stepping out there.
Oh,
But
you, there's a couple of
there's no way I
things.
would have done that 2 years ago.
No, you can't. Perplexity can make it into an app for you that you can deploy. And once you finish it, I absolutely encourage you to take the finished version of the PDF or whatever you create for the guide before you make it
So
into an app.
I want it to be a digital copy. I don't know I could be wrong, but it's interactive, so you could, like, but I don't know if that's even possible.
Well, I would make two then, because
Yeah.
what you can do is take that PDF and plug it into Google Notebook LM and make it interactive. It will make
Oh.
a quiz for you. It'll make a blog post out of the material. It'll make a podcast. It'll make a video. So
Oh.
when you're on the road,
But so
you
here,
can listen.
it's an 8-hour test. So yeah, it's gonna have to be. That's what I'm saying. Like, at first, Perplexity tried to make it like 10 questions. I'm like, dude, this is an 8-hour test. You can't have a 10-question study quiz. Like, and so I don't know. But at the very end, like, I was getting really frustrated because it just wasn't doing it like the way I was like, I don't understand what you're not understanding. So what am I not? Because it just wasn't doing it what I wanted. And I said, and they were like, oh, you could study it right from here. I said, this is not for me. I already told them, but I said, this is not for me. I'm making this for other dental hygiene students. And as soon as, like, they got that, whoever that is, Perplexity got that clear, they freaking just did it the way I wanted them to from the beginning, which for whatever reason, I guess I didn't make it clear. But
And that's what I always
so,
say. If it doesn't understand you, and when you get to a point like that, just say, ask me additional questions so you can understand what I want. And something else that I wrote about on LinkedIn this week is that you can prompt it to critique its answer. Please critique this answer to see where it could be better. So now you're having AI critique its own work. That's
yep.
another step.
I think that is such a good idea. The podcast, the everything. I didn't even think Notebook LM. I need to remember that.
Yep, it
That's
is
a
my
good idea.
favorite Google product. And
I
the
love it
nice
too, and I
part,
always forget about it.
is free. You don't even need a
I know.
paid Google account to access it.
I
So
know.
as everyone's struggling, I mean, I know um, I'm self-employed, so there's that. There's everything that's going on. There's so many people with the federal government that don't know what's going on with their paycheck, and they're like, "Oh, maybe I should learn a new skill." This is an I don't want to say an easy way, but it's a path to learn a new skill, to see where your next journey is going to be. There's so many people who are worried about the subsidies going away for healthcare that they're
I know.
like, oh, I don't know where I can open my wallet this month. Well, you can not open your wallet and get a little bit better. You could open your wallet a little bit and give Heather less than $1 a day to show you how to do all this stuff. Um, but I understand it's not an easy time right now for a lot of people.
And why do you think you see me in the car every damn time you're on this thing? Because I have to go. I don't. The last thing I want to do is go scrape and shit out of people's teeth every day. But right now, that's what I have to do because I'm very fortunate that my job is not being affected by this. But it's definitely not a good time for a lot of people right now. So it sucks. I
Well,
mean, yeah.
I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but if people's dental insurance goes away, you
Well,
might not be as busy.
Well, you know what? Yes and no, because dental insurance is half the problem with the prices of dental work. But yes, you're right. You're 100% correct. Uh, and I try. That's why I'm working as much as I can now because you just never know what's going to happen. You really don't.
No. But if you want to upskill, AI is there for you. You want to reskill, AI is here for you. My community is here for you, whether it's on Facebook, whether you come and join us on school for a bit of a deep dive. We're here for you.
Oh, bunny rabbit. Sorry.
And so, but
Yes, I think that. Oh, and if you need a side hustle that you need to, that you want to use AI on, you should contact me because I have a pretty good couple, so I can show you some. Just saying. I might as well throw that in there too. Um, because I'm the side hustle queen, nonstop.
the other thing I want to talk about a little bit, and I think I talked about it last week too, is if you see something with AI that is too good to be true, I've seen quite a few scams popping up. So if you think that something just doesn't pass the smell test, or you want to run it by me to see if it's a great idea, please do it. I'm not calling anything out or mentioning anything, but I've had a few people contact me about one thing in particular, and I I had to tell them that it was not a good side hustle. It was not a good idea or a place to put their money. And I was able to do some pretty deep research with AI on the topic.
Yep.
But as things get harder and harder,
The scams are going to get
people
more and
want
more.
to believe that there are some solutions out there. And not everything is a solution. Sometimes you meet the next Bernie Madoff or Bernie Madoff. You don't
I don't even
meet
know who that is.
Heather Duraco. Oh, so if you've ever heard the word Ponzi scheme, the
Yes, I know.
person who
Okay.
invented the Ponzi scheme, his last name was Ponzi.
Uh,
Bernie was probably the person who's credited with perfecting the Ponzi scheme. So, really kind of crazy. But yeah, he scammed so many people out of their retirement funds. He died in jail. Um, there's his niece actually wrote a fantastic book, and she started her own company that gives hair bands to pediatric cancer patients. So whenever I need new hair products, I definitely go, oh, Headbands of Hope. That's what it's called. So, and it was through the adversity that her family faced after losing their fortune through their uncle's scheme that she came up with this nonprofit and this business that supports her nonprofit and her family. So there's always a silver lining to a cloud. You just
Right.
can't always see it at the time. So,
I
but
might be losing service here, just so you know, for a good minute because I'm up in the mountain now.
so we are going to end this today. We're going to play Colleen's favorite song. We've been yapping for about a half an hour now. So I'm going to thank everyone for joining us today and see you next week. And we go live. I know I don't advertise it, but it's been 2:30 every week on Wednesdays, unless something goes horribly wrong. So I'll start trying to make a post earlier in the day about it. But you guys are great. You catch us on the replay, or if you happen to be on the scroll, you jump in. So,
Yes, and hey, let me say something really quick. If you watch
okay.
this live, give us a hashtag live, yes. And if you watch this on a replay, tell us hashtag replay so we know that when you guys are watching, just at least tell us something. Let us know that you watched it, please. Thank you.
Yeah. And we appreciate you guys for all the support.
We do.
So, aloha.
Bye bye, guys. Have a good night.
Lights are shining everywhere. Feel the rhythm in the air. Hearts are beating, feel the vibe. And get on up, it's time to jive. I'm so excited.